Well, sometimes we have to spend money at the orthodontist, but it's all worth it.
Pays off in the long run.
Hi, Steve.
Yes, it does pay off in the long run. How you doing, everybody?
Good.
And we're back in the chair now. Well, I'm not back in the chair. However, we do have Riley, 8-year-old student, come in this morning. Dr. Susan, a big part of your practice, or any orthodontist practice, is younger folk. And you tell me that every youngster, and I didn't even know this, should come and see you or an orthodontist by the time they're 7 or 8 years old.
That's correct. The Canadian Association of Orthodontists and also the American Association of Orthodontists, they both recommend that every child by age 7 should have an orthodontic screening. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to receive any kind of treatment at that age, but we would like to see every child at that age simply because some of the problems can actually be avoided if we do any sort of early treatments.
So what do you do in an initial assessment?
Usually when we meet a patient at this age, one of the main things we look at is, first of all, the development of the teeth. So in other words, we have a look and see, are the permanent teeth that are supposed to be there, have they already erupted? How many baby teeth are left? Then we look at things like alignment. So for example, here with Riley, you can see she has some crowding already developing on her bottom front teeth. These 4 are all permanent teeth. However, on the top, she has spacing. The next thing we look at is the bite. So bite down for me all the way, love. Close down all the way on your back teeth. Good. So you can see with Riley, her bite is good. She doesn't have any cross bites or underbite or overbite. And these are all things that parents really ideally should be looking for in their children's mouths. So
I did want to touch on that because we do have a board here with some small pictures. I don't know how good this is, but we got 30 seconds. Just give me an idea of what parents can look for to say, hey, maybe we better call the orthodontist.
Absolutely. So one of the most common things is a crossbite. So this is when the bottom tooth is in front of the top tooth. That's a good thing to look out for. Things like open bites, where the teeth don't actually touch together. A very large overbite or protrusion. That would be a good thing to look out for. Crowding, spacing, a deep bite, and also things like habits. So if you have a child who's a thumbsucker and has not given up the habit, this would be a really great time to eliminate that habit as well.
And again, you don't have to have a referral from a dentist. You can just call up and do it. You can just call
the office and make an appointment. You do not necessarily have to be referred by a dentist, even though a lot of our patients are, but you could actually just call yourself and come in for a complimentary consultation.
Thanks, Riley, for coming in today.
Thank you, Riley.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. More Morning Live, and we're going to go next to the morning's best wishes.
Hey, as wedding week continues, and of course the the wedding orthodontist is always a part of the plans. No, it's not. I just have no way of segueing to the orthodontist, Steve. So just take over.
That's a good one. You want to have a nice smile when you take those pictures, don't you? Anyway, we're at Red Hill Orthodontics. And something we want to talk about is people come, they want to change in their facial features, or they also have some problems that have to be attended to. And doctor, we really got some obvious changes here that you've been able to do with people.
Absolutely. So basically, the biggest reason why people come to see us is crowding of the teeth, and you can see an example there. And this patient was treated actually without having to remove any teeth whatsoever, just by creating some expansion for them and making room for the teeth. We were able to line them up. And same thing here. The difference here is that we have a situation where patient has spacing. And quick thing I wanted to point out is that patients actually we can't change the shape of the teeth to any great extent. So you notice the patient had a little chip here. Chip obviously still present at the end of treatment, and that's a situation where we would send a patient back to their dentist to have that filled or repaired. And we wanted to also talk about sort of the driving force behind all of this.
That's right.
Which is what you have right there.
Less than 30 seconds. Just give us a brief on this. Has certainly changed over the years.
Absolutely. NASA inspired again. NASA wanted to make these special wire. These are nickel titanium, and the idea is they wanted something that could retain its shape. So you can literally fold this wire, turn it into a knot, crimple it up, whichever way you want, and you won't be able to deform it. And that's what the driving force is into pulling the teeth into the space and the shape that we want them to go.
So parents, your kids won't have to go through the torture you did when you had yours done many years ago. We're going to take a short break
for sure
and come back on Morning Live in a few minutes.
All right, one more trip to the orthodontist.
And this is about trading in your candy. I don't want to give up my candy.
We don't have to give all of it up, Annette. You know, when you go trick-or-treating on Halloween, I think it's a week Friday, you'll be able to keep some of it, but we're going to tell you a little bit about what you want to trade in. And, Dr. Susan, October is National Orthodontic Month for a reason, and the reason is?
The reason is that traditionally after Halloween, we tend to get a lot of emergencies, and a lot of kids are, I guess, eating the hard foods that really they should stay away from if they have braces on. So October is National Orthodontic Health Month for that reason.
But you have a program, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a clever way, I think, of trying to avoid those breakages, and that is that we actually buy the Halloween candy back from the patients. So for every pound of candy that they surrender to our office, we will actually pay them $1, and we will also match that $1. This year we're actually doing the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation as a charity. So for every pound of candy that they bring in, $1 goes to the patient, $1 goes to the charity, and the candy will probably be given to city kids as well. So we don't want that candy lying around here, so we don't need it.
But Annette wants to know, she wants to keep some candy of her own here.
She can keep the softer type of candy, so not the hard lollipops or jawbreakers, but the softer chocolate. That's okay as long as she brushes afterwards as well.
Well, we've learned lots here today. We've learned that you don't have to have an appointment to come to the orthodontist, and younger kids, around 7 or 8, should have an appointment just to check and make things are going okay, to supplement what they learn at the dentist. So we've learned lots of new things here.
I'm glad you have. And orthodontics is better than ever. Thank you for coming.
Okay, that's it from Red Hill Orthodontics. Busy today. Everybody's underway here. Everybody's working hard. We'll take a short break. Morning Live finishes up in just a couple of minutes.